Well, women in jazz music are definitely underrepresented. There's clearly a big difference between how many male we have in jazz music and how many female we have.
When you have to constantly fight against people's expectations, it takes more. You know, you have to want it more and you have to work more. And again, every time it takes something extra, it's more hard to do.
When I play on stage, I really try to lay down all this I know about what people might think and not think about me as a person and me as a woman on the stage, and just play, because I think that's the only way that we can like free ourselves.
Claro, en nuestro caso no buscamos hacer un cuarteto concretamente de 4 mujeres, sino que éramos 4 personas que nos entendíamos y decidimos hacerlo así. Y creo que las cosas que hemos conseguido o no conseguido no son por culpa o a causa de ser mujeres, es independiente de eso. Pero sí que es verdad que cuando la gente habla de nosotras, remarca que somos 4 mujeres.
Quartet Vela nació con la idea de Carla y yo. Bueno, habíamos acabado nuestros estudios y estábamos en una etapa un poco como muy separadas todas. Y pues Carla y yo estábamos paseando y decidimos, ¿y si hacemos el cuarteto que siempre habíamos pensado? Y así lo dijimos a ellas y aceptaron.
Ese año, en la clase de lenguaje, que hacemos solfeo, lenguaje musical, pues me presentaron la tuba y dije, ¡guau! Yo quiero tocar la tuba, sin duda. Era como increíble, era súper grande, sonaba súper grave. Llegué a mi casa y yo, mamá, quiero tocar la tuba. Y mi madre, ¿estás segura? ¿Qué es eso? Y yo, sí. ¿Vale? Todo el mundo dijo que sí, hasta que la vieron y dijeron, ¿qué es esto? Esto es muy grande.
How I started with trumpet was a bit more difficult because it started with a denial. I thought I saw my brother playing the trumpet and I really liked it. It was very cool and different instrument, so I decided, yes, I have to do that. And my brother taught me something small, something little to play on the trumpet. And then I went to the trumpet professor then in Bulgaria, and I asked him, can you please teach me? I want to be your student. And he pretty much laughed in my face. He said, no, you're too small, you don't have enough lung capacity and you don't have enough air and you're way too small and way too weak, you can't play the trumpet. And I asked her, okay, if I started crying, would you be willing to teach me? And in the end, I cried and he laughed even more, and he decided that he can teach me to play the trumpet.
I started playing the flute when I was 8 years old because my grandma, she liked music a lot, classical music a lot, and she had a violin. So we thought that I could borrow her violin and start playing it. But at the end I didn't have any sport of violin, so I had to choose the flute. And yeah, that was also a good decision, I guess.
Creo que actualmente en el mundo de la música no hay diferencias entre hombres y mujeres, que creemos que tienen todo el mundo las mismas oportunidades independientemente de eso.
The situation of women in classical music, to me it's different. It depends on the instrument you play. For strings, it's more acceptable. It is actually normal, if I can say, to be a woman and to play a string instrument, or maybe even also a woodwind. But when it comes to brass, nowadays it's more open. Of course, it's normal now. But a few years ago, when it was more difficult, they still look at you as the weak link maybe in the section, if you're a woman and you play trumpet or trombone, tuba. But now I think slowly there is a bit of a progress where we can show that we're not the weakling.
La tradición clásica aún está muy viva y es verdad que los profesionales o los solistas más conocidos son hombres muchas veces, directores también son un 70% yo creo o más hombres. Yo supongo que es por la tradición clásica que está muy viva y que aún la sociedad le falta mejorar esta parte.
Creo que en el mundo profesional faltan mujeres, pero creo que es algo que se va solucionando poco a poco, porque, por ejemplo, si miras los conservatorios o las orquestas jóvenes, hay casi más mujeres que hombres estudiando. Y si miras las escuelas de música, todavía hay más niñas que niños estudiando. Entonces creo que es algo que va a ir cambiando y se va a ir normalizando y esto, o sea, va a cambiar totalmente. De hecho ya está pasando en muchísimos instrumentos, pero por ejemplo en tuba yo lo veo. Yo estaba sola, en plan, desde que empecé de niña hasta que acabé siempre era la única chica que tocaba la tuba en todos sitios.
Nowadays I think it's kind of fine because back on the days it was more hard, I guess. But now I don't really feel the difference. I mean, if you are a good player at the end and you present yourself good and you have something to offer, that's more important than to be a woman or a man. It makes no difference.
I think seeing mostly men on stage happens because of traditions in a way. Many years ago, women were not allowed even to play in an orchestra, so now there are more and more women coming to the orchestra, but it's still quite tough competition out there, and you're not competing just with women for positions in orchestras, let's say, but you're competing with women and men, and I don't think they choose always by gender, but of course there are more men doing music professionally.
Simplemente hay una cosa que es la calidad, y si antes había menos mujeres y habían más hombres, es mucho más probable que haya más calidad en lo que hacían los hombres que en lo de las mujeres. No es por el simple hecho de género, o sea, es que el género va aparte. Lo que importa es la calidad del producto que estás vendiendo, ¿no?
Que las mujeres sean buenas en lo que hacen ayuda muchísimo. Es decir, a ver, no sé cómo ponerlo esto, pero que por ejemplo a lo mejor un hombre no es tan bueno y le es más fácil llegar a un buen sitio y una mujer no es tan buena, pero el hecho de que haya mujeres buenas como que prueba, o sea, demuestra directamente que no estamos en inferioridad de condiciones. Entonces sí que a lo mejor tenemos también asociada esta, ¿cómo os digo? Bueno, como tenemos este extra esfuerzo que tienes que hacerlo bien para poder llegar a algo, pero tienes que ser mucho más extraordinario a veces que un hombre.
When seeing a woman on stage performing, there are of course different people with different minds, different opinions, so of course everybody will judge her differently. Some will be as judgmental as to a man. I try to be just, it doesn't matter if it's a woman or a man, to me it's a musician and it matters how he or she plays.
Creo que en algunos casos sí que se les valora de una forma diferente a las mujeres que a los hombres cuando se suben a un escenario. Por ejemplo, pues siempre se ha fijado mucho el cuerpo de una mujer cuando está en el escenario y el de un hombre siempre ha sido algo que ha dado más igual, ¿no? Esto a mí nunca me ha pasado.
I think the way we see women in stage can be very different than we see men. For example, the way they dress or the way they behave, maybe we can think something. But nowadays it's very common that, for example, the women have like short dresses or short shirts or I don't know. So it's very common that the audience at the end they say, oh, this was a very nice performance, you know, with the ironic style. Yeah, this can be that they pay more attention maybe if they are a woman, but I think that's the only thing maybe you can sing, because at the end it's about music, I think. So you will hear comments about expression, about musicality and stuff. Not, I think she played like that because she's a woman. No, I think that's a very mediocre, like mediocre. No.
When I first started playing the trumpet, I didn't have women role models, unfortunately. I thought it was kind of bizarre for a girl, for a woman to play a trumpet or any brass instruments, because it is more like you need more strength to play this instrument. So, and also it wasn't as common back then in Bulgaria. But when growing up and when I moved first to Germany for my bachelor's, then my professor was a woman, and there were also quite a lot of not only trumpet players but just brass players that are women, and that they were really making a very good careers, not only solo but as well in orchestras. So now I do have role models, and I'm really grateful and happy for that. It's something that really inspires me every day.
Sí, yo creo que sí que influye tener estos referentes. O sea, si alguien, por ejemplo, tiene muy claro que quiere hacer eso, le va a dar igual si los referentes son masculinos o femeninos. Pero sí que si vas un poco como siguiendo la corriente, no sabes muy bien, pues claro, ves cuál es el referente y dónde tú te identificas. Y si no hay el papel de la mujer allí, pues es más difícil que tú te identifiques con eso, ¿no? Entonces, a lo mejor, no sé, me imagino chicas pequeñas que empiezan y lo que tú decías, ¿no? Hay muchas mujeres que tocan el arpa, pero no hay chicos que toquen no sé qué. Pues a lo mejor tienden a escoger el arpa que en otro instrumento porque ya se identifican más o están más predeterminados.
La falta de referentes mujeres en mi carrera, por ejemplo, no es algo que me haya afectado muchísimo, pero pues sí que puedo decir que me he encontrado en ciertos momentos pues cosas un poco extrañas, ¿no? Que pues el típico abuelo de 70 años que me dijese, no, es que tú no puedes tocar la tuba porque eres una chica, cosas así. Haces oídos sordos. Al final, al menos a mí era como, algún día este hombre se dará cuenta de que esto es mentira, ¿no? Y efectivamente ha pasado así, y de hecho él me tiene muchísimo respeto ahora y tenemos muy buena relación. Bueno, también tienes que tener en cuenta pues, que quien te dice estos comentarios, qué es lo que ha vivido antes, ¿no? En qué sociedad ha vivido, y tampoco hace falta que con 12 años le empezara a decir eso no es verdad, no, simplemente ya llegará, ya te darás cuenta que esto no es verdad, lo que acabas de decir. O ir a cursos y que parasen una masterclass, un alumno, para decir, es la primera mujer que veo tocando la tuba, perdón, estoy sorprendida. Es como, wow. Y yo me quedo así y digo, pues hola, soy igual que tú.
I think it's very important to see women on stage playing all kinds of music, like jazz, pop, rock, I don't care, like, because then the children have to be free to choose what they want. Doesn't matter if they are man, woman, like, they should just play the music they like. If they love rock and don't know, they want to be Janis Joplin, or I don't know, some really role woman that is very successful. I don't know, it can be, I mean, everyone should be free to choose what they like. That's the most important.
So when I look back now, I see that it was of great importance for me that I had a woman musician as a teacher. Back then I didn't think about it, and that was great too, I think, because that's how we wanted to be.
when I was in high school, I got myself a really, really nice singing teacher. That I also like kind of moved from my hometown to another bigger city to study in high school, and at the same time I got this teacher there. And he was the one really excited for jazz music. Before moving, I was like really curious about, you know, creating my own stuff and kind of just maybe not improvising in the sense of improvising as I do right now, but I was just curious to see what else is there, because my singing teacher was always pushing me to do very strict things. And I was always kind of curious, like, oh, what else is there? And my brothers, they were listening to a lot of different kinds of music, and I knew there was something to it. And I kind of really liked the idea of being free within music.
I think my first role model was my mom, because she's a bass player and we played a lot at home. I played drums and she played the bass, and I had a female teacher also in school, but I never really thought about it, because I was always around a lot of female musicians. So to me it wasn't so strange to play instruments when you were a woman, because a lot of people didn't. Also a lot of men and boys, but where I grew up there was a lot of female musicians, so I didn't think about it so much.
When it comes to improvisational music, it gets quite interesting, because there is really a question of who the human being is, and not how disciplined you are, but it's a question about how you are able to feel free with being with the instrument, and how you're able to feel free to speak whatever is in your mind or your heart, and somehow that is harder for women than for men at the moment, because we have to fight much harder for that natural ease that comes with the instrument, because of the lack of role models, for instance. So we have like this mental barrier that we have to fight before we can express as freely as maybe many men can, because they feel that it's just like talking, because they see people do it all the time and all their friends are doing it. And so that like maybe loneliness, you can call it, is like something that must also be fought.
I think there's also like these very certain stereotypical boys figure and a stereotypical girl figure, where girls are really good at following rules, and whereas boys, they kind of try and get around the rules. I don't think that all the girls are like that or all the boys are like that, but I guess there is something to it. And I think girls, they might feel more safe when they know what they do. Boys might feel more adventurous. But that is very sexist thing of me to say, but I think that's kind of, you know, that's what I've been experienced, what I've heard. But I don't think that it's impossible to encourage girls to be free in it, as well as I don't think it's impossible to set rules on the guys, you know. But I think that's something that we as educators, we have to be very smart about, so that we wouldn't end up with both parties being on their comfort zone only.
A lot of girls want to try new things, and they want to try music for fun, because it seems like if a girl wants to play drums, it's for fun, like, because it's not really something people expect her to do. So if she wants to do it professionally, she has to have extra courage or be extra good to do that compared to a boy. If people see a bad rock band of boys playing really bad rock, they just think, okay, maybe they just started, or they will get better. If they see 4 girls playing really bad rock, they will think like, oh, it's for fun, or maybe they should find something else to do. I think most people will recognize that way of thinking. Like, so you have to, or I at least feel like I have to be really good before presenting anything to anyone, because otherwise they will think that I choose the wrong thing or that I need to practice more.
It's a very important detail in the discussion of female in jazz, or people in jazz, people in music. I think you have to live up to some certain level in order for people to take you seriously. And I think that's both for male and for female. What I feel a little bit that female are kind of putting emphasis on is maybe that they don't... it's very easy to blame the fact that you're a female for people not taking you seriously, rather than looking into your own qualities and like really like analyzing what is about my playing or about my singing that people don't take seriously.
Well, there's a good side for, if you look at like the opportunities for the woman, then maybe she will have more credit for doing what she's doing because she is like the minority or the rare situation. But that also creates like a special pressure on being that person, because she has to first of all live up to these expectations, and then secondly she has to prove her right to be on stage because she is the minority there.
You know, a lot of people are like, ah, you're so smart, because not a lot of bands are made of only women, so everyone is going to notice you. And I have never played music to be noticed, and I have never chosen anyone to play with that I don't think are good musicians, because the music is what is most important to me. And I think as soon as something really is not what you see every day, people feel like they can say anything about it and it's not weird. I have had people come to me like, oh, I saw your band is only women, so I almost left because women are not really good in music, but then I stayed a little and you were actually really good. And they expect me to be really thankful and like, thank you for staying for my concert, and I'm really happy that you liked it, but you know, really, it's not really a compliment. Like, I was almost leaving, but I stayed. Can you please be happy about that? And a lot of people compare you to other female drummers, like, though you have nothing in common. Like, I have a lot of friends like, you have to meet her. You have so much in common. You can talk so much about everything. And then I meet her, and she's like, oh, yeah, I'm a drummer. I play heavy rock. And I'm like, okay. So what was it that we had in common? It's only the gender. Like, so because that is what people see, they think that we are all alike, or we will all like each other because of the gender, though the music has nothing to do with each other. What is important to change is like our expectations to people, because we really often do what is expected of us. And the places that I have seen it work is in the schools that I've taught and where I grew up. I teach at the school where I went to school, and that is why I know a lot of female musicians, because at that place it's not really that strange to be a girl and play drums or play guitar. And so that is what I know works, because I've seen it and I lived it and I am it. So I know that that works. And also it's important to have some role models and feel like you're not the only one in the world to do this. So of course it's important to put female artists on stage. And I feel like you know, there are festivals with no female artists, and most bookers are male, and is men making decisions about men playing on stage, and there is something wrong in the system, because a lot of really, really good female musicians don't get to play on the festivals. And when there are people good enough and people don't choose them, then there is something wrong.
Right now, there is such a huge unbalance on the area that we have to do something more. We can not just wait till it equals itself. Yes, right now there is a lot going on with camps for younger girls who can then be allowed to find their own way of playing and their own instrument together with other girls, so you without feeling scared or feeling that they should be doing something else.
I think it's very good to have the dialogue. I mentioned that earlier also, but I think it's very important also for everyone, also for the female students, to kind of realize that we can work together, all together, to create a better environment for the upcoming generations. We have to encourage young students to just pursue whatever they want to pursue. And I think we need to do it equally for the male and for the female. So I think that's just really in the essence of it. It's really good to have this discussion going on, because it is an issue.
To see stage full of women could be very inspiring, could be very empowering concert, and it will give exactly a role model to the newer generations, that you can have an orchestra full only with women, for example, that exists. There are many ensembles just of women, and they can just prove that it is as good as a male ensemble can be.
Nos gustaría que cada vez sea más normal encontrarte con un cuarteto de saxofones y ni te fijes en si son hombres o son mujeres, que supongo que es difícil, pero cada vez hay más. Nos hemos encontrado durante este año unos cuantos más cuartetos de saxofones, y aún nosotras nos fijamos, decimos, voilà, también son 4 mujeres, pero esperemos que a poco vaya cambiando esto.
Que nosotros hemos tenido la suerte de tener las mismas oportunidades que los hombres, porque generaciones anteriores la gente ha luchado, las mujeres especialmente, para que eso sea así.
Para mí es importante ver un escenario lleno de mujeres, porque hemos visto muchos escenarios llenos de hombres. Entonces, no se trata de dejar de verlos llenos de hombres, se trata de... Han sido tantos años viendo solo hombres que necesitamos ver mujeres también. Entonces, para que se acabe compensando, tiene que haber una visibilidad de las mujeres en un escenario.